In the rapidly evolving world of telehealth and compound pharmacies, few names are as mysterious and controversial as Dr. Myra, the CEO of Mochi Health. On paper, she's a doctor. In practice, well, that part gets murky. She's linked to Mochi, a fast-growing telehealth brand, but there's also a defunct pharmacy, Equita, in the mix. And the more you dig, the more questions start bubbling to the surface. Today, we're unpacking the tangled web of affiliations, silence, and controversy behind one of the most talked-about names in weight loss healthcare. Who really is Dr. Myra? What happened with Equita? And why do so many questions go unanswered? But this isn't just about one person. It's about a business model. It's about a new wave of healthcare that lives online, sells trust in a bottle, and uses titles like doctor as branding leverage. It's about how modern health brands can rise and fall overnight, and what gets lost in the shuffle when that happens. So buckle in, because this story might just change how you look at telehealth forever. Who is Dr. Myra? Let's start with the basics. Dr. Myra, a physician by training, is the founder and CEO of Mochi Health, a telehealth platform that provides GLP-1 prescriptions like Ozempic and Mounjaro for weight loss. She often introduces herself simply as Doctor Myra, omitting a last name in many public forums, making her brand personal but also elusive. She completed a medical degree, that much is verifiable. But here's the twist. There's no evidence she's ever practiced medicine in a traditional sense. No clinical residencies, no board certification, no patient-facing role that can be traced to any hospital system. When curious users dig deeper, they come up with a professional ghost. A doctor without a clinic, without a history, and without a traceable license to practice in any US state. And that's not inherently bad. Plenty of MDs go into entrepreneurship. But it raises eyebrows when the title doctor is used as a credibility badge while sidestepping the actual practice of medicine, especially when that title becomes a key marketing point in the business itself. When the public assumes that they're being guided by a medical expert with years of patient care experience and instead discover a founder with zero clinical practice under her belt, it can feel misleading. Mochi Health, the rise. Mochi Health exploded onto the scene just as the weight loss industry was being revolutionized by GLP-1 medications. While traditional diets were losing favor, drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro were rapidly becoming household names. People wanted access, and they wanted it now. Mochi offered what looked like a modern solution to an age-old problem. Customers could go online, fill out a form, and potentially get prescribed a GLP-1 compound without ever stepping into a doctor's office. The branding was sleek, pastel colors, inclusive marketing, and promises of affordability. Their target market was broad: young professionals, busy parents, people of color, members of the LGBTQ+ community, groups often underserved by traditional healthcare. The company's growth was fueled by word of mouth and targeted ads. Social media influencers began posting their journeys. Instagram and TikTok were flooded with testimonials. It was wellness culture meets convenience, wrapped in millennial branding and digital minimalism. Equita Pharmacy, the connection. This is where things take a darker turn. For a time, Mochi prescriptions were filled through a pharmacy called Equita. Equita Pharmacy operated under the radar but played a critical role in Mochi's fulfillment strategy. For customers, the experience was seamless until it wasn't. Equita abruptly shut down. Complaints rolled in, shipments delayed, orders cancelled, no customer support. The pharmacy's online presence disappeared almost overnight. But here's the kicker. Equita wasn't just a vendor to Mochi. There are indications it was tightly intertwined. Corporate registry records suggest shared leadership, overlapping addresses, and mutual ownership stakes. Some reports indicate that Dr. Myra was either directly involved in Equita or, at the very least, had a managerial hand in its operations. That means when Equita collapsed, Mochi wasn't simply a third party caught in the chaos. They may have been part of the very structure that failed. And yet, there was no public statement, no apology, no acknowledgement of the disruption caused to customers. Corporate web, multiple companies. Dig a little deeper and a pattern begins to emerge. Dr. Myra isn't just associated with Mochi and Equita. She's been linked to multiple LLCs, corporations, and professional entities, many of them related to healthcare, telehealth, or tech-enabled services. Some of these companies appear to exist primarily on paper. Others are tied to the same PO boxes or mailing addresses. In some cases, she's listed as a founder or officer. In others, she's listed as a registered agent or stakeholder. None of this is illegal, but it does begin to look like a shell game, especially when one entity collapses and another suddenly takes its place. Why would one person need so many overlapping businesses in the same niche space? Is it smart diversification or strategic obfuscation? When you're navigating the complex and highly regulated world of medicine and pharmacies, having multiple corporate identities can act as a shield against scrutiny. Is she really a doctor? Let's revisit the core question: is Dr. Myra really a doctor? Legally, yes. She holds a medical degree, but in the eyes of many, that title implies more than a diploma. It implies clinical experience, patient care, and medical responsibility, and that's where the gap lies. According to available records, Dr. Myra does not hold an active medical license in any US state. She hasn't completed a residency. She isn't board certified. She's never treated patients in a hospital or clinic setting. That means she cannot legally diagnose, treat, or prescribe on her own. So when customers see the doctor title and assume they're under her care, they're mistaken. In promotional materials, Mochi often emphasizes her as a thought leader, but they don't clarify the absence of licensure. And that omission creates confusion. Some might argue it's a branding tactic, using a prestigious title without disclosing its limits. In the end, Dr. Myra might be a savvy entrepreneur. Mochi might be a successful brand. But behind the scenes, the tangled web of companies, pharmacy shutdowns, and credential controversy is still raising eyebrows. When you connect the dots, a story begins to form, not of criminality necessarily, but of calculated ambiguity. A business built on convenience, backed by partial truths, and driven by a market hungry for quick solutions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. Have you had an experience with Mochi or a telehealth pharmacy? Drop it below. We're listening.